Hello, and welcome to the third session of our Macro Discovery program. The first two sessions being talking about the philosophy of macrobiotic. It's discussing the harmonizing with the nature, the law of nature, and why is it so important for human beings to actually harmonize with nature and follow the circadian clock, because we lost that ability and we need to get back to it to be healthy and stay healthy. And then the second session was all about life energy, where it's coming from, how it stays within us, what is it all about? Because in macrobiotics, we're not concerned with calories, we're not concerned with carbohydrates, fat, and other nutrition values, even though we're concerned with nutritional values, but we're concerned from the point of view of energy coming from food that we put inside to stay healthy. And today we're going to tackle the very interesting topic that it's time, I think, start becoming and practicing macrobiotic called Getting Started. So let me bring the presentation and share the screen. And this is our session 3, Getting Started. Let me move my picture. Oh gosh, it's not that quick and easy. Okay, so let's get started. It's a session 3, Getting Started. So I suggest that you read that story on your own. The point of the story is to learn to let go. Don't keep the emotions, especially and actually very negative emotions inside of your body, because it gets stuck in there and won't let the life energy to move freely up and down of your body and create health. So read it, and I hope you kind of follow it. So as macrobiotic always say, we open the door in macrobiotics that we say that we open the door to health and happiness. Whether you walk into it or not, it's your choice. So what I'm discussing during this session or bringing to you, it's up to you actually to follow. And I hope you would, because the results of doing it is amazing. So the 4 macrobiotic principles that we always need to follow. Live in tune with nature. Discuss it. First class, first session. Balance yin and yang in our diet, life, and avoid extremes of either. Avoiding extremes is the key word in life. And when you got to extreme, try to get out of it as soon as possible. And eat locally and seasonally. It's a point we're going to discuss during this session. And then we're definitely going to discuss the diet, what to eat, how to cook, when to eat, the portions, and so on and so forth. So let's start by actually trying to understand that we're all different. Can one diet fit all? There are many, and I would say probably over 50 different diets right now promoted in America, probably around the world, but in America the most, because we're obsessed with our weight. So how to lose weight? There's a diet. How to stay healthy? Because when you're healthy and in your good shape and fit, your body finds the perfect weight you need to have. So since we're all different, age-wise, races, backgrounds, mind-wise, so how we actually adjust and create the healthy life for each one of us? First of all, it's definitely connecting to the nature, being in the nature as much time as you, many times and much time as you can, especially when weather is good, go out. Sometimes you check the air condition and it's not so good, so it's not great to be outside, but find the way to actually enjoy the real nature. Do not just look at the window and think you see it, that's enough. Actually, actively enjoy it. Follow the Chinese medicine 24 circadian clock. And we talked about it during our first session. Definitely understand yin and yang, because the whole thing in macrobiotics as well as in Chinese medicine is based on two energies, yin and yang. So if you didn't take the second session or listen to the video I posted, or find better videos. There's so many better videos, but definitely look through presentation. I also posted it in our Macro Discovery group. And definitely look into food now closely. That's what we're going to be using, that chart that shows in white triangle, turn upside down triangle, upside down triangle, all right? We selected the food that is balanced naturally by itself. It's putting them together, the dishes made of those foods can create a perfectly balanced meal. Once you use the selection of the food from blue or red triangles, you can go to extremes. Using a little bit, great. Using a lot, meaning tipping the whole thing into extreme and creating sickness. That's what needs to be understood. So before we actually go and talk about diet, let me explain something. In macrobiotics, which is based on traditional Chinese medicine, there are 5 seasons exist: spring, summer, late summer, autumn, and winter. Late summer, it's not another season that divides the whole year into 5 equal portions. It's the season within the season. It's the season within summer, and sometimes even a few weeks going into fall season. But actually, it's a season within the season. When the summer comes to the, I would say, to the hold, when the energy of the summer all of a sudden is not that high, the days are not that hot, and you feel it with few not so warm days, that things change. That's called late summer season. And then autumn and winter, like you know it. So the whole late summer season is about 4 or 6 weeks, depending on where you're at exactly in a temperate climate. It could start a little later or a little sooner and end a little later or a little sooner. But that's like the bulk of it, 4 weeks between August 21st and September 20th, even though it can go into, of course, a little bit of fall. So what is all about all those seasons? They are described by energies. Spring season has the going up energy. So the energy of spring represented by a tree. It's like a young tree that started growing. It's not huge yet. It's opening up to the new season, and it starts sprucing, and the buds are opening, and everything around is flowering, and new leaves showing up. A beautiful spring season that during summer turned into hot days of fire. That's why the summertime is represented by element called fire. That element actually has nothing to do with the tree element. It's not like tree is burned by fire. Don't connect it that way. Each element representing the certain season is just to show you the direction of energy, life energy. So life energy in the summer, like crazy, it goes every direction, any direction. And then in the late summer, it starts going down And it's represented by soil energy, that attracting things to itself, start being a little bit of more intellectual, considering, analyzing, looking back, thinking about future. And then that energy starts solidifying and turn into fall, which is represented by element called metal. The metal almost make the energy, and why they call metal? Because that type of energy almost stop that life energy moving, bring it to a halt almost. It's always moving. It's not, because if it's not moving, does not exist, we're dead. So represented by metal. And then the metal fall turning into winter, which is represented by dark water. It's not that kind of blue, but it's more darker water represented. So it's floating, represented by floating energy. Energy started floating, getting a little bit up on the surface of water and turning into spring season, then spring turning into summer, and summer, late summer, fall, winter. The seasons are going around whether we want it or not. It does not depend on what we want and how we want. How we actually harmonize with seasons, because if we don't, we destroy the organs. And guess what? There are organs associated with each season. And harmonizing with the season means supporting certain organs, like spring. It's supporting and actually harmonizing two organs, liver and gallbladder. And summer, fire energy, harmonizing with that energy supports heart and small intestines. What about late summer? If you harmonize with the energy of late summer, you're supporting and giving a lot of energy to your spleen, pancreas, and stomach. Isn't it interesting, right? And if you look into fall season, represented by metal, so that harmonizing with fall helps, very much helps lung and large intestines. And then moving to winter, that we harmonizing with that energy in the winter, we actually help kidney and bladder. So each season associated with specific pair of organs. So if you eat the same food every season throughout the whole year, you may help some organs at some point in time. You may destroy other organs at other times. So that's why different diet exist for different seasons. They're not entirely different. They're not drastically different. They're subtle difference. The difference is subtle. But we need to understand why. Because each season is specifically need to be supported. And if you support the energy of that season, you support your health. So in spring, chi energy is awakening, expanding, and emerging. Winter yin energy is gradually transforming to yang. So it's from winter, we're moving to spring. Energy is different. So if we continue eating heavy, constricting, energy-dense food that we had in the winter, we're not helping the energy of spring. We're not helping our own energy to come out from deep inside and get out. So in the springtime, we start eating a little bit lighter food. We start with maybe juices like apple, carrot juice. We're adding, let's say, wheatgrass juice to it to help the energy to start moving up in our body and coincide and harmonize with the season. And it's a time where you change your lifestyle a little bit. So you start waking up a little bit earlier. Well, some people wake up at the same time throughout the year, which is, sometimes it happens, and you need to do that because you work, you need to be someplace at a certain time, and that's it, just have no choice. But if you can you want to keep your health, then try to harmonize with the season. Specifically in the springtime, you start waking up a little bit early. We're not talking about 5 o'clock in the morning. We're talking about maybe 6:37. And make sure that you are actually out at some point in time and walking in the nature, because you need get that freshness. And food is a little bit lighter, as you can see. The menu on what you see above the screen, the menu is for you just to kind of understand what kind of food and how it changes. Used to be available on internet with the recipes for food, but it's all disappeared. So I'm just using menus to represent, to show you what the seasons what you eat in specific seasons. It's not exactly what we eat, not necessarily, but giving you an idea what kind of food you choose to eat. So in the summertime, chi energy is in its most active and expanded state. So when you support that energy, if it's want to go out and burst in every direction, let's not hold it down, because it's going to be tough for us and actually for our organs. So let's help it. Maybe raw salads, a little bit of shrimp you see there, which is pretty good. And you need to be outdoors as much as possible. Late summer energy begins to gather, coming down and moving forward, the time of rethinking, the time of more reading, maybe a little bit calmer activities, not that, not being that much active, and different way of preparing food, and spend time on fresh air. Again, always spending time on fresh air in any season, you know that. And autumn, which is in most, the energy, chi energy, in the most passive state. So we need the food that nurturing us, the food that makes us calm, relax. That's the time where high energy activities should quiet down, should be reconsidered, and get a little bit quieter type of life. Maybe go to bed a little bit earlier, maybe read more, but still try to be outside. It's a beautiful season to be outside, especially here in Chicago. Winter, that's the energy in its passive state still, but begin to moving, like I told you. Remember, floating like water. And we need to eat as much warming, young food as possible, because our energy, like energy of a tree, goes inside out. The leaves falling out, the branches are empty, and the tree seems like dead, but it's not. Why? Because the energy deep inside. So our energy goes deep inside, hiding from cold weather coming. So we need to support that energy. We need to eat warming food and keeps us warm. So a lot of people, once in the winter, the sun is beaming and all of a sudden feels warm, don't wear warm clothes. It's a big mistake, because your body's still in the winter mode. So you need to warm it, keep warm inside. So yes, again, being outside as usually is a great idea. Skating, skiing, sledding. Oh, I would love to do that. Don't remember when I did it last time. Hot bath, sauna. Oh, very good, helping us. So in the spring, the energy changing from yang to yin. I'm sorry, totally my fault. From yin to yang, reading left to right. From yin to yang starts growing. In the summer, the energy is like 100% yang. It's never 100%. It's always has a little bit yin in it, but it feels like 100% yang. In late summer, yang turning into a little bit of yin. It's not whole yin yet. It's not much yin, it's a little bit. But in the fall, the yang turning into yin, much more yin. And winter is nothing but yin. So if we have that idea, so preparing food for ourselves and creating meals or menus for certain seasons, we need to take into consideration yin and yang in food and yin and yang in weather and in season and time of the day. If we get that, we can be pretty good. I know it seems like a lot. It seems like we need to actually do a lot of work and understand what kind of menu, what kind of food. But once you start doing it, it's going to become so natural to you. You're going to walk in a grocery store, Whole Foods, Jewel in Chicago, some other big stores, chain stores, you walk, or not chain. And you see in a wintertime mango. Oh, mango has so many vitamins. I'm missing the fruit. I want to have mango. Now, mango is a very yin fruit because it came from tropical climate. So the fruit there is to keep you cool, not warm, cool, because it's so hot in there in tropical climate, right? So the fruits there specifically to keep you cool, like bananas, mango, and many other tropical fruits. So in the winter, which is the yin season, you eat yin mango, you make it more yin. You extrude and fingers and toes or hands and different part of the body start feeling that cooling effect very quickly. And maybe not so quickly when you're young, but much more quicker when you're getting older, because you got to get into extreme. The same in the summertime. When it's very young and you eat a lot of dense food like hard cheeses or meat, or use baking a lot, then you start eating the fact of eating young food in the young season, make you more contracted. And even like food like salty food, make you more contracted when you need to expand. So that's what macrobiotics is all about. It's a combination of yin and yang in food and season throughout the day and night. And if you master it, I'm going to tell you, it's a pretty exciting when you know what you need to do when you feel certain way. It's easy. Instead of taking medication, you just change your food habits or lifestyle habits and adjust. So on my website, which I created specifically for people who is interested in practicing macrobiotic, there's so much information, but there are also 2 weeks of menu. Those 2 weeks not adjusted to any season. You need to look at it from the point of view of a different season. Let's say we moving towards spring. So what's listed here could be complemented or substituted with lighter dishes. Maybe more juicing, maybe a little bit more raw salads now and then within the week, less heavy dishes, not much baking anymore, more maybe sauteing, frying, maybe grilling to get a little bit more moving energy. So when you're doing shopping, I specifically, by the way, everything on my presentation, which is exists in PDF format, and now I posted it on in our group, Macro Discovery group on Facebook. Everything practically everything is clickable, so you can get right away to the information you might want to read and get more knowledge and understanding of the topic I'm discussing. So when you are in a store, that products that you spend more time with, the shelves you're standing by, are fresh produce, exactly. But you need to understand that better those that grown locally than brought from far away. Sometimes there's no other chance for us, like in the winter, brought from Mexico here in Chicago. And you know what? Then we take it. Mexico also is a temperate climate. And the better the store, I would say, the more that particular store is committed to healthy food, I would say the fresher the produce you have. Some cheaper places may have produce that been in the storage for a long time. And when you buy it, they get spoiled within 1 or 2 days. So be careful about it. I would not economize good quality food, to be honest with you, or compromise because of the price. And definitely when you're in the store, stay away as much as possible from packaged and processed food. You still need some, and I buy it. I have cans of beans at home, few, just in case, or packages of beans. Try to find good quality, organic always, but make sure that it's not overwhelmingly fill your pantry or kitchen. You need fresh produce to get the energy that actually gives us life. This food doesn't give us life. It fills us up, but it's not supporting life. Be aware of that. I also explained that special products we use, especially traditional Japanese products, why we're using them, because they help us to balance our diet really well. A small quantity, excellent quality. Look at Japan, their water, their skies, their mountains. The people is devoted to healthy and beautiful food. So be aware of that and read more about those products. We're going to use them in our recipes a lot and explain next time their usage. Those are the internet sites where I buy food from. Natural Import, a beautiful thing, because it sells product from Mitoku company. Mitoku located in Japan and sell the products that made by families, different type of families in Japan, very traditionally, and guarantee the quality. Eden Foods here in Michigan, beautiful company. You can buy product from them, very good products. The picture I have here is from my favorite South River miso, because that American ingenuity, wow, we created not just barley, rice miso, like Japanese, do it like for centuries. We created better miso, chickpea miso, azuki bean, brown rice, sweet white, any kind. My favorite chickpea miso, I love it. Oof. Oh, red pepper miso, good too. So in harmonizing with the nature, helping yourself, it's important to follow the rhythm like nature does. It lives by the rhythm. So you need to create that rhythm in life. Everything you do has to follow the rhythm. You cannot do something sporadic. Like one day you walk 5, 6, 7 miles. Few other days, I don't want to go for a walk. Too cold, too hot, too dark, too bright. And I'm not going to walk. You're not creating the rhythm. And not creating the rhythm, your body is confused. What do you want? How am I going to understand and prepare and follow? So creating the rhythm, creating activities throughout the day. When are you waking up? When you do your body scrub, go in and walk. Want to have breakfast. So in red, I put things that I would highly recommend you not to to do in those times. And if you cannot, then don't do it. Do it some other time. But create the rhythm that body understands, because it coincides with circadian clock. What do I mean? You go to sleep when the circadian clock says you need to be asleep. You wake up when, according to circadian clock, you're waking up. If you wake up constantly, like 5 in the morning, try to extend it. And don't fall asleep after that and need to get up. You're going to be so tired by the end of the day. You're going to be exhausted. And then you probably won't be able to even fall asleep. Or worst situation, you fall asleep during the day. And then what happens is you cannot fall asleep at night. And the whole terrible cycle of events that you don't want to have gets started. So what is body scrub? Try that link, but definitely try to make it. Look at that. You take the white small towel. My towel is small. There's so many of them. You can buy at TJ Maxx or Marshalls, easy, cheap, because the first few you're going to throw away. Why? Because once you start doing body scrub, you get toxins out of your body, of your skin. And your towel going to become like yellowish and smelly. You've been using it for a week, don't even wash it. Just throw it out. The suggestion is, I read Danny Waxman said once, like 15 minutes. I do it maybe 5-6 minutes. I'm not that big myself, so it's easy. But I can guarantee you're going to be so happy you started doing it every morning. Now, if I'm not doing it in the morning, I feel guilty throughout the day. I do it in the evening then. It's best to do it in the morning and in the evening. But if you do it once a day, specifically in the morning, it's amazing. I'd like you to start doing it and then reporting to me how you feel. Because I'm going to tell you, you're going to feel pretty good and be happy you started it. Also, this Meridian Stretches. I do it every morning. It takes about like 15 minutes. But it's a great thing to start morning by stretching those meridians. It helps your organs to expand, to start functioning, to open the channels of energy, moving from one organ to another. So it's a great way to do it. Please do it. It's only 6 poses and they're easy to do it. I do it on 6 breaths each pose. I do a few other poses in between just because I love doing them. Maybe you have some yoga poses that you can use before or after or in between, but make sure you incorporate all those 6 stretches into your morning routine. Seems like a lot, right? But once you start doing it on a daily basis, you're going to be so happy. And there are other things you can do throughout the day, different activities. Have a variety. Don't just stick to one. The weather is great. I have bicycle in the garage or in a Porsche. I'm going to go for a bicycle ride. And don't count the calories you lost or how many miles. Doesn't matter. While you're enjoying it, do it. And you stop enjoying, stop and do something else. And it's all good. So those are the links to, you can go, of course, not on that video, but in the presentation that I posted that gives you a better idea how to do. It's from my website, elizabethskin.com. See, I need to promote it. So you guys start doing that. And we have the end of our first part of presentation. I'm going to stop sharing it for a moment. I'm going to tell you to finish it up, go to the part 2. I'm making it 2 short videos out of the whole thing just not to overwhelm you. And hopefully you start doing it and get started. See you soon